The Loch Ness Monster, 90 years of sightings and what the science actually shows. Loch Ness is Scotland's largest body of fresh water by volume, 37 kilometers long, up to 226 meters deep, holding more fresh water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined. It is deep, cold, dark, and peat-stained. The water is nearly opaque below a few meters due to dissolved peat. These conditions would be ideal for concealing a large animal. In 1933, a local newspaper published an account from John and Aldi Mackay, who had seen a violent commotion in the loch and described it as a creature rolling and plunging for fully a minute. The story sparked something that has not ended since. The surgeon's photograph, taken in 1934 by physician Robert Kenneth Wilson, is the most famous image in cryptozoology. It shows what appears to be a long-necked animal with a small head rising from the surface of the loch. It was published in the Daily Mail and became worldwide news. The photograph defined the visual image of the Loch Ness Monster, the plesiosaur-like neck and head that has persisted for 90 years. In 1994, a deathbed confession from a man named Christian Sperling claimed that the photograph was a staged hoax, a toy submarine fitted with a modeled head. The photograph is almost certainly fake. Despite the photograph being a hoax, sightings continued. The Loch Ness Investigation Bureau operated from 1962 to 1972 and compiled a database of over 1,000 reported sightings from individuals considered credible. Sonar surveys of the loch in the 1960s and 1970s produced intriguing results. Unexplained sonar echoes at significant depths, attributed by investigators to large moving objects. In 1987, a project called Operation Deepscan swept the entire loch with 24 sonar-equipped boats in a line and produced 3 large, unexplained sonar contacts at depths that exceeded the known fish population of the loch. In 2018, a team led by Professor Neil Gemmell from the University of Otago in New Zealand conducted the most sophisticated scientific investigation of Loch Ness ever attempted. They collected water samples from 250 locations across the loch at multiple depths and extracted environmental DNA, traces of genetic material shed by every organism living in the water, from microbes to fish. They sequenced every piece of DNA they found and compared it against known species databases. The results took over a year to analyze. The eDNA survey found no evidence of large reptiles in Loch Ness. No plesiosaur DNA. No shark DNA, despite some suggestions that a large shark species might explain some sightings. No catfish DNA, despite catfish being another proposed explanation. The survey was sensitive enough to detect the DNA of a large animal if it was present in the loch. The absence of evidence was, in this case, genuine evidence of absence for the specific candidates that had been proposed. What the survey did find was extraordinary. Loch Ness contains an enormous abundance of European eel DNA, far more than would be expected even given the known eel population. Eels are common in Loch Ness, but the eDNA suggested they were present in quantities that exceeded estimates. Professor Gemmell, in announcing the results, declined to fully dismiss the possibility of a giant eel, noting that while a plesiosaur was definitively ruled out, a very large eel, or a family of very large eels, was not excluded by the data. The giant eel hypothesis has genuine merits. European eels grow larger in cold, deep, food-rich environments. The maximum recorded size of a European eel is about 1.5 meters, but there are anecdotal reports of larger specimens. An eel of 3 to 4 meters, surfacing briefly and showing its body, could conceivably be misidentified as a large creature by an observer at a distance. The dark water of Loch Ness, the peat-stained opacity, and the typical conditions of sightings, brief, at distance, on rough water, would make precise identification difficult. The Loch Ness Monster is almost certainly not a plesiosaur. It may not be anything unusual at all. But the question of what has generated decades of sightings by credible witnesses, including scientists, military personnel, and experienced fishermen, has not been completely answered. The eDNA survey told us what is not in Loch Ness. It left open, just slightly open, the question of what is. And the loch itself, deep, cold, dark, and vast, is not sharing, it never has been. That is, after all, the point.